Hello, I am O.R. Frazier, and this is another short story that I've written. This one is a bit of a special project, really. Uh, I'm testing out different genres, like how I write in different genres, and I wanted to try writing something like more young adult oriented. Of course, still in fantasy because that's my thing. So sit back, relax, and listen as I tell you this little tale. It won't take too long. I call it The Squire. In a faraway world in another time, there existed a grand order of warriors known as the Order of Silver Paladins, who sought to bring justice and fairness to their entire realm. So it came as quite the shock when they chose the plainest farm boy who ever lived to undergo the trials of knighthood. The news came in a letter to their cottage on the side of the valley. Mrs. Periduke's youngest had been chosen to join the legendary knights. His siblings were flabbergasted when learning that Montaigne would become a squire and, according to the letter, a knight would soon arrive. Surely, this was a dream. No, it was a mistake. Montaigne's sister seemed to think so. There must have been some sort of mix-up. Why would you get picked over me? She sneered. I don't know, replied Montaigne as they herded sheep towards a new pasture. I just... And why do you think you're knight material? You can't even fight worth a spit. You can't do spells like a wizard. Montaigne's face was beet red. He was angry and ashamed, but refused to give in to his sister's jabs yet again. It won't matter. I'm sure it'll all be worked out when the knight arrives. He'll see the mistake he made and choose me instead. After chores, Montaigne went to the well for a drink. Here he found his brother perched on its stony side, reading from a strange book covered in weird symbols he called runes. It was a spell book, he claimed, and one day he would be the mightiest wizard who ever lived. Montaigne, there you are, he said blandly. I was needing someone like you around. Really? He replied with a mixture of hope and suspicion. Yeah, hold still. Before Montaigne could ask why, a small glob of fire came shooting towards his head, and he barely had time to duck. What was that for? His older brother was laughing so hard that he nearly fell back into the well. Your face! You were so scared! You almost killed me! Come on, little brother, I wouldn't kill you. You could have grown up with a scar. You know how ladies love scars. Montaigne was no longer thirsty. He'd come back later when his brother moved on to torment some other unfortunate creature. Running back into the hilly farmland, he sought his favorite spot. Nestled on the highest hill was a rocky outcropping, large enough for an entire camp. It was here he could see the mountains far away, and even his house looked like a tiny speck below in the valley. A gentle, cool breeze was always blowing, and the starry nights were so welcoming. Often he'd sneak out of the house at night, set up camp here, and stargaze until sleep finally took him. Nothing had brought him such happiness in his life. Not since father. A commotion below caught his attention. He heard his mother whistling, which meant everyone was needed home right away. Quickly scaling the rocks and running down the grassy hills, he knew it could only mean one thing. The night had arrived. Sure enough, as Montaigne approached the cottage, he caught eye of two horses. Both magnificent beasts were brown with splotches of white and covered in dazzling silver armor, gleaming under the sun. The knight, a tall-built man whose armor matched the steeds, had already dismounted and was approaching the door of his home. Out from it burst his mother, who'd prettied herself up to a ridiculous degree, combing out her strawberry hair and braiding it just right to hide the gray strands, using makeup she'd bought with her food money to hide blemishes on her face, and putting on what she called the best perfumes. Montaigne's face was redder than the hair she and his siblings shared. His had turned out a dirty blonde. Welcome, Sir Knight, she declared loudly to make sure her children heard. From the house came his sister, and from the other side of the home came his brother. Montaigne thanked the gods he hadn't went that way. The tall knight bowed. It's a pleasure, Madame Periduke. He tapped his helmet. May I? Of course! She beamed a little too happily. The man removed his silver helmet, and for the first time they could see his face. He was a dark-skinned man, with a small goatee and icy blue eyes. No scars covered his face, and his contagious, genuine grin even made Montag smile. I am Sir Olzan, and I'm here for... There must have been some mistake with the names, interjected Montag's sister, while brushing her hair from her face. I think you must have meant to choose me. Oh? And you are? My name is Rory Periduke, and I think you're actually here for me. Rory. Yes, I remember your letter. Good. Then you know I don't want you as my squire. But where is the one named Montag? Montag left his hiding space from around the side of the house and slowly walked towards his mother. The knight had noticed him, of course, but said nothing, all the while keeping that infectious smile on his face. I'm Montag, called Montag's brother. What? No, you're not. I'm... His mother punched him. Quiet, she threatened. You are Montag? Well, good. Say your goodbyes and let's make for town soon. Of course. Let me grab my books and... The knight raised a brow. Books? Yes, my spell books. The knight was silent. His kind face suddenly turned serious. What was in the letter you sent me, Montag? Montag's brother froze mid-step. It was... Don't take me for a fool. His gaze immediately went to me. You're Montag, aren't you? Yes. Come along, we have much to talk about. Wait, interjected his mother. My other two are far more skilled than him. Yet they lack something he has. What? His mother was speechless. Montag didn't even look back at the stunned, angry faces of his siblings as the knight helped him onto the back of one of his horses, and the two departed. Montag was scared as he was excited. What did he have that his brother and sister didn't? He'd soon find out as his journey into knighthood began. So, I hope you enjoyed this little tale. I don't know if I'm ever going to do anything with it, because I'm not the biggest fan of young adult kind of genre. But, it was a pretty fun little exercise. I've been doing them for different genres as well, and I may share some in the future. Hey, I hope you like this story. Tell me if you do, tell me if you don't. I'd like to hear. And, check out some other stuff. I got more recordings. I got books out. Check them out. You may just like it. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.